I bought 20 games and I played 5. And out of those 5, maybe I beat 2. But you know what? I gotta make a statement. I gotta make a declaration that it's no longer gonna be 2021. It's gonna be 2020, Juan, as we commit each other to finally tackle down that gaming backlog and defeat and complete every single game within our game collection. Okay, sometimes in life, things change, or you get access to new opportunities, or a friend sends you a message and asks you, hey Juan, I have a Gears branded Xbox 360. Would you like it? And then you get that console in your home and you think to yourself, man, I haven't shown the 360 a lot of love. And even though I have games for it because I got this, maybe I can get 2 more games or 3 more games. And even though we are talking about 2021, the year where we finally tackle that gaming backlog that I did not just share with you, all of you shared your backlogs with me. Maybe I got myself a couple of different games. So hey friends, welcome back. I am the biggest hypocrite that I know, but I'm opening up to it, people, because damn it, game prices are going up so high that I felt compelled to get some cheap games in my collection before the prices go up. Am I just saying this to justify my purchase as well? Yeah, actually, 100%. That's what's happening, but I show love to the Nintendo consoles, to PlayStation, and I really do think it's time we change things up a little bit. So before we keep going, make sure to subscribe, give me that thumbs up, and when you go down to the comment section, it's not about judging me, although judge me away in the comments. I gotta own up to it, right? I literally talked about this and complained about this in a previous video. Are you collecting or playing games on your Xbox 360 or even the OG 360? The OG 360, just the OG Xbox console? Let me know in the comments. And I mentioned it in my opening. I got this, people. When a friend asks you, do you want a Gears branded Xbox 360 with 2 Gears branded 360 controllers? You say yes. You get that. Who says no to that? So huge shout out to Mash from NivelEscondido. They are a Spanish language retro and modern gaming podcast, so check that out. I will make sure to link to them at the end of this video. And he showed me this, and I already had an Xbox 360 console, but it was the black one. And I actually loved how this one looked. I mean, look at the quality. It just looks freaking great. And then let me show you one of the controllers, which has actually become my main controller for the Xbox because it's freaking cool. Look at that. One of the things that I want to do later in the year is at least beat the first Gears because I played 2 and 3, but it's been so long. And something else that I'm playing soon is the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And I dropped off from playing the first Mass Effect, and I actually had that. I played it in my Xbox. I actually still have my original copy somewhere back there. So at some point, I'm looking forward to sharing my experiences with that Legendary Edition. But this was so cool. I wanted to beef up my 360 collection because aside from the games that you see there, I have about maybe 5 or 10 more over there. But now that changed a little bit. First up, 2 games that cannot be played because let's not forget the 360, much like the Xbox One and the Series consoles, it is backwards compatible, but not all games work, including these 2 right here, which are Prince of Persia the Two Thrones and Warrior Within. So you can't play the original Sands of Time. I actually have a physical copy of the OG one, and that's how I played and beat the game last year in my Xbox One. Now, even though I have the HD trilogy on the PS3, I saw my lonely copy of Sands of Time back there and thought to myself, hey, how cheap could it be to get the other ones? Less than $4 a piece, people. If you want to get some OG Xbox games, now's maybe the time to do so because we saw what happened with PS3. I mean, Folklore has gone from $20 to like over $100, right? Just in this year alone. So I'm looking forward to eventually having some kind of showcase, not just here, but in another part of my house with my wife, that we can highlight some of our favorite games. So I'm looking forward to doing something like that over there. Another game that I got for less than $4 is Battlefield Bad Company. So growing up, I really did not play a lot of Battlefield. I played 2 maybe twice, and I played Battlefield 1943. That's the 360 exclusive, right? The digital one. I think it's also on PS3, but it's the smaller scale Battlefield game but everybody says great things about this and company too. So I didn't have them as part of my collection, and I saw it so cheap for $4. I'm like, I'm going to get that. I'm pretty sure you can play this on Xbox One as well. So I'm kind of prioritizing games that are backwards compatible, but that doesn't always have to be the case because there's a lot of really good games right now that with the PS3 game prices going up, something that I'm doing is figuring out, okay, if the game is cheaper on 360, then I'll get it there. And I'll actually show you a couple of examples. But before that, we got to showcase Dead Rising, also less than $5. So this was, I think it was like exactly $4 that I saw it online. A lot of patience, just keep on the lookout and you're going to get some good prices. Dead Rising, I played 3 and I really did not like it. And the more that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I never played the first one. I played Case Zero or Case West, I forget what it was called, but I never played this one, and it was one of those games that's always been lurking. It's always been there. People love talking about these games, but I never experienced it, and it became more outrageous and more outrageous as time went on, and I feel like when you think about the 360, kind of like the PS3 and every console, they all have like their 10 games that you should own, right? I think, at least for me, let me know what you think, that Dead Rising should be part of your collection. And now this is when we get to a couple of the games that are a lot more expensive on the PS3 and are cheaper on 360. Now this one, not by much the difference. I got this Stranglehold for $5. Pretty cheap. And for PS3, it's going for about 10 to 15. You may not think it's a big difference, but say you get 10, 20, 30 games. That's not a $10 difference, my friends. And I got this one because I was checking out a couple of YouTube channels highlighting great third-person action games that even though they are not perfect, they're pretty serviceable. I've always enjoyed like C to B grade games that are pretty fun. One game that I really want to get myself a copy of is Wet. I've always enjoyed playing C to B grade games that are sometimes a little bit rough around the edges. Maybe the gameplay is a glitchy or something, but I'm somebody that enjoyed playing 50 Cent Blood on the Sand on the Xbox 360. So after having played that and enjoyed it, I think I can make do with another game that supposedly is not perfect, but I played the demo and I thought it was pretty good, man. I got it for about $5. This one I got for about $6, also available on the PS3, and the PS3 copy goes for about $7, $8 more, is Fracture. So this game did not review all that great. The reason that I got this one is because you can actually adjust the terrain. So it's a third-person action game. Some of the reviews state, and I played the demo, and I'd agree with just having played the demo, it's a little monotone, gray looking, very neutral looking, but it's got an interesting concept, and it comes to us from LucasArts. So I think this is when they were really trying to double down, expand their horizon with video games, so that's why I wanted to add this to my collection. And initially, I did really want to get the PS3 version, but at $6 to $7, I'm like, man, forget about that. I'm going to get that. Now, these next two, I did not buy them online. I got them from a local video game store in Puerto Rico called Museo de Videojuegos, or the Video Game Museum. And this first one is Midnight Club Los Angeles Complete Edition. It's interesting. My previous episode, I talked a lot about racing games. Recently, I've been doing that with even MotorStorm and all of that. This is one of those games that people always told me, you got to get yourself a copy of Midnight Club 3. I have played the first one, and I'm like, what's the big deal about the third one? You know, this does come to us from Rockstar. I played just like the first 30 minutes, and I was blown away because the cutscenes and the presentation is like a Grand Theft Auto game. This is an open world racing game, and I was so convinced that it was just going to be your basic default, you know, you get the menu, you get to the race, you complete it, and that's it. I guess I never played Midnight Club 2. I don't know if that's a whole lot different, but what I love about this version, which I got it for about 10, goes for about 20, 25 online, and I assume the price is going to continue to go up because a lot of these games, because they have licensed soundtracks, usually they are pulled from online shelves. So physical, always the way to go, right? I mean, regardless, it's always the way to go. But because it's the complete edition, it's got DLC and all of that stuff. So I'm looking forward to maybe doing like a, not full review, because I don't tend to finish racing games. I tend to enjoy them for a couple of hours, but once I've played enough of it, I'll be sure to give my impressions here. And this one right here is the one that I was like a little kid when I went over to a video game museum here in Puerto Rico, because the price for this one online is about $30 to $50, regardless of if you want to get it for 360 or PS3. And then I saw the $20 sticker on the side, Blur. I could talk about this game in many different ways. Or I could say, what if you wanted the Forza or even Midnight Club type graphics with a Mario Kart type gameplay? I have a gameplay video available on my Let's Play channel, so you can either hear me talk about it here, or you can get my live first reaction over at PlayerJuan Plays. It's legit just real, authentic, licensed cars with a Mario Kart environment and a pretty cool story, and I continue to be blown away by just how good it looks, how solid it feels. I don't think we'll ever get another game like this, because even when you look at the front, you see licensed cars. That is not a thing that would happen nowadays, right? You would have to make a makeshift thing, because a lot of car companies do not like it when you crash their vehicles, when you make them not look good. And I'm looking forward to giving you a beefier response or experience with games like Blur and Midnight Club as I continue to play them. And the last game that I'm going to talk about is one that I really wanted to have as part of my PS3 collection, but it was so much cheaper. It was like half the price. I got this for like $7. We got to talk about the Bourne Conspiracy. As a big fan of the Bourne Identity, Supremacy, all of those movies, I'm a big fan of Matt Damon as a whole. Matt Damon's not part of this game, to my knowledge. That's why they have a different type of cover here. I've always loved to see how they take a movie and tie it into a video game in this modern time, because in the PS1 and 64 generation, obviously you got to talk about, your golden eyes and all of that stuff. But I feel like in the PS3 360 generation, with the exception of like your 007s, we didn't quite see as many great or good games in this, or people kind of forget about them. And they're pretty cheap to get because they are in that C to D tier for a whole lot of people. And this is an action game that supposedly they tried to treat it as its own Bourne movie in a video game format. It could be kind of like a Mission Impossible game, which I love playing those games growing up. I have tried to go back and play the PS1 Mission Impossible game. No, I think it's better left off in the past. Although, I do have a Mission Impossible game for the PS2, which I have yet to play, and I really should at some point. So if anybody's played that one or this, please let me know. But as you can see, I'm really looking forward to beefing up my 360 collection, mainly for games that are on the original Xbox, and I can play them on the 360. And something very frustrating there is that as you look up the compatibility list, there's a lot of games that you can play here, but it does have an asterisk of, yeah, but the menu's a little bit glitchy, frame rates all over the place. Even some of my wrestling games, I can only play, I think it's like WWF Raw 2, but the first one doesn't work, or the flip, the opposite, I'm not sure. But I'm looking forward to having that Xbox 360 collection grow, and I may have some accessory reviews in the future, because personally, I love the Xbox One controller, but I despise this D-pad. I hate it, people. I have tried it. I know a lot of people love this controller, and don't get me wrong, visually attractive controller, buttons are alright, but you get to the D-pad and even the buttons kind of like feel painful after a while. Maybe that's just the case, but out of all of the games that I've talked about in this video, I would love to know which one would you like me to do a Let's Play of, like I have one with Blur available right now. But if you'd like me to provide coverage of any of these games in a much more deeper format, please let me know. And if you like what I do, make sure to subscribe, give me that thumbs up, and as you check out those lovely buttons on this side of the screen, I am going to be doing a PS3 pickups very soon, because I am a hypocrite. When I got 360 stuff, my PS3 looked at me, he's like, hey, do you still love me? And I said, yes, I'll get some stuff for you. So up until next time, thanks for watching and supporting, and take care, everybody.